Yeah. Didn't you destroy a camera trying to go live?
Oh, fucking brand new.
Brand new fucking 360, just right. They like launched. It was going on its own flight.
No,
like,
but the worst part is I was in China, right? Okay, so I was sponsored by DJI, and they just sent me one of the new Osmo 360s, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So while in China, I scratched on the lens, okay? And I was like, well, shit, but they're from China, so I was able to send it to the warehouse, and they sent me a brand new one. The first time I took it out, we were trying to like figure out how to go live from a 360, and I was I was being rushed. It was my fault.
The clouds were starting to come in.
Accountability, my fault. And so I had it on the 360 pull, and I'm twisting it. I thought I was at least. So then I go to take off, and as I'm standing on the concrete, the camera falls off the pole, and I watch it skid down on the lens. But then it fucking turned over and bounced, and then started scratching the other side. So luckily we were in, we were down in there in Old Denise, and we have a friend who helped us get it fixed. But all they could do to fix it is take like sandpaper and try to scratch, get the lens thing off, and it just has this glare. It's not the same.
So learning how to go live with Marco from Paragliding Live has been an adventure from day one.
Yeah, that's what we like though, huh? So we're pretty excited about it. It's cool to be a part of that. Our goal is to try to go live 1-2 times a week.
And not just like in a house like this, we're just in here because it's really freaking hot outside, but on actual adventures.
That's not true at all. We had this house because we had Erin with us, and she was detoxing in recovery, and we were going to surprise her because we told her we didn't have a nice place, and we were going to go to the ghetto, and it's going to be in the jungle. Probably why she left. But so the goal was to come out. We have this penthouse up here. We were going to surprise her for New Year's, see the fireworks and all this cool shit. But obviously she ran away, and now it's just Sandra and I. So we've had a journey.
Party of three.
Party of three. And
so now we have a penthouse all to ourselves.
But I'm actually getting on a plane in 3 hours. I'm flying back to Las Vegas tomorrow. But first I'm going to go fly to LAX and rent a car for a couple hours. I have a different flight than Sandra. And then I'm going to go see my uncle, go do some rock climbing in the gym, and then hopefully Sandra will be arriving around 7, and then we're driving 3.5 hours straight to Blythe, where my parents live. Blythe is on the border of Arizona, California. It's bumfuck Egypt. I don't know why anybody in their right mind would want to live there, but that's where my dad, he was a correctional officer, and he worked at the prison, so that's where I grew up. Little white boy in a fucking redneck town full of fucking inmates' parents. So the population of Blythe, what?
You have questions.
Hold on, let me tell them. You can't cut me off in the middle of a sentence. Either way, I'll answer your questions in a second. So Blythe has a population of 20,000. 10,000 of that population is actually the families of inmates that are out there. It was a level 3. There's Chuckawalla Prison and there's Ironwood State Prison. And both of them are big boy shit. But that's where my dad was a correctional officer for 25 years. So imagine that I go to prison and my dad's a lieutenant in a prison. What? You keep.
I'm not.
What do you want?
Keep talking.
What do you hold the phone up like this for? Stop hitting me on the table. What do you want?
I don't like looking down at the phone. I'm trying to read the comments.
Oh my God, woman. So that's where I grew up, but I got expelled from the school district out there. I ran away, let's be honest. I was, I think, like 12 or 13, 14. I don't know. Anyways, I ran away. So I had some drama happen at home, and I ran away, and I was going to go live in these caves that were like 25 miles out of town. So I was like, fuck them, fuck my family, fuck everybody. I'm going to the desert. I'm going to live in these caves, and this is where I'm going to live. It's a terrible idea. So it's hot in Blythe, and I made it like imagine like you're this kid, right? And like you don't want your family to see you, and I didn't know if they knew where I was, if they were looking for me. They probably weren't, who cares? But so every time a car would come, I would like try to go hide behind a cactus or behind a berm. And luckily I went through like an orange grove, and so I was able to have a little bit of fruit, and then I was dying. I had no water. Who runs away in the middle of the desert with no water? This dumb motherfucker. So luckily I come up to like this nomad living out there in their trailer, in their tin box, and I'm like knocking on the door of some like 13-year-old kid. I'm like, do you have any water? And so she shares some water with me, and this is actually ironic. This is a good story. So this was the only time in my life, I don't believe it. I didn't believe in God. I'm an atheist, all that stuff. But I'm half Jewish and I'm half Catholic. My mother's Catholic. My father's Jewish. What?
The camera fell though when you were hitting the table.
Okay, I'm hitting the table. So I'm half Jewish, half Catholic. I prefer to be more of a Jew now, anyways. I just like the what it means. My family, my favorite part of the family, other than Lori and Craig, they were Catholic. But I had to go to church and I had to go to temple, so I got to experience both of them. They're fucking all crazy, if you ask me. But moving on. So it's now like late at night. I have no water, no food. I'm still like 5 miles from these caves, and honestly I have no rope. I have no way to get down these caves, and the whole thing kind of got a little bit heavy for me. So I prayed to God, and I was like, please God, if you're there, like, it would be fucking awesome if you could help me. I'll never do another bad thing again, I promise. That didn't work out.
That didn't last long.
That didn't last long. And no shit, like 30 seconds later, a car coming from the desert, the opposite where I was walking to, in the middle of the night, drives by. It's in a minivan. And I like flag him down in the middle of the road, and I'm like, hey, I need a ride. He's like, why are you out here? I'm like, my car broke down. He's like, uh-huh. So he ends up giving me a ride, and I go back to town, and I had like 25 cents on me, I think, like that. So I bought some like taffy. I remember from the liquor store, I bought taffy. That was my dinner. And I was like, fuck, it's cold now. So I went and hit, my parents don't even know this actually, they actually don't know this. So I went back to, I was living in a motorhome. I couldn't live in the house because there was only one bedroom, and I had my brother living in there and my parents lived in the other room. And I was going back and forth between grandparents and all that shit. So my parents put a motorhome in the back of the house. Which should be cool, right? Yeah. So I sneak into the motorhome, and I know my dad gets up early shift, so he gets up at like 6 in the morning. So what I did was I hid in the locker above the driver and passenger seat. You know, they have like the storage containers up there. So I hid up there. It was so fucking hot in the morning. I was sweating up there, dying. And I actually heard my dad come in, and then I heard my mom get up and everybody. And then like, I waited till my mom left, and I snuck out. And then a couple days later, I got arrested for being truant, and they took me to school. And I was like, I'm not going home. And so they ended up taking me to Long Beach, and I went to a group home called Boys Town, and it was a shelter. So I was there for, I don't know, a month or two, couple months, until they found me a residency in a place called Trabuco Hills, and then I was in this group home for a couple years, most of my high school. That was until 11th grade, so 9th and 10th grade I was there. And then I manipulated my family, said that I was going to go to a trade school so that they would take me out of there, so my grandparents took me back in. And long story short, obviously I fucked all that up. So moving on, I was a hell of a tangent.
Moral of the story?
Moral of the story, that was the only time I ever asked God for help, and it was the only time I ever had an answer. So there was some weird shit out there. I don't know if it was a coincidence or the universe, but whatever it was, that's why I'm not like completely against this whole God thing, because like I do know some situations where I feel pretty lucky, because I should be dead, I should have OD'd, but I'm not, I'm here. Right? I'm living a glorious life, so
maybe
there's got to be something out
guardian
there.
angel.
I'm a guardian. You?
Maybe.
Shit. Okay, so what are these questions? Let's get to them.
Well, now you got me distracted.
What are they?
All the way up here.
Okay, whatever. Come on.
Robert says, bro, your chick is bomb.
Well, we fucking know that.
Just saying, don't
we know
you
that.
forget it.
We know that.
Thanks, Robert. You're bomb too.
rum, and I'm like, I'm not going to get her. She needs to get on the plane. She ends up having a seizure. What happened is she was withdrawing from fentanyl. So because she didn't have her Suboxone, somebody said we have no sound.
Oh, I'm saying that's a pair, but
Oh, we have no sound? I don't know. Oh, damn it. Do we have sound or not?
he said shortly went away.
Okay, is it back?
Back.
Okay, good.
We're back.
So,
Thanks, tech support.
I don't know where you guys left off. Aaron.
You stopped hitting the table.
Stop it. I want to get closer to people. Okay, so Aaron had a seizure. I don't know what you left, but Aaron had a seizure. She was detoxing from fentanyl, and essentially she takes a drug called Suboxone, and she didn't have her Suboxone, and she was smoking meth and fentanyl like in the car before she got on the plane, and basically she just fucking had a seizure, and she goes to the emergency room, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I'm like, well, she needs to go to the hospital because I only gave her parents one rule. I was like, look, I don't want to have her unless she is detoxed. And I was like, all right, well, this is a blessing in disguise because she can detox in the hospital. They can look after her. I don't want her coming out in the middle of the desert and have a seizure with us, and it would just be terrifying. So I made her stay there for a couple days. And when we arrived, we made her a contract. There was 12 commandments, 12 rules of what we expected if she was going to stay with us. And she said she would do it. It was a 6-week program to start with. And we walked through the desert. We walked like Moses, like Jesus. I took her through the desert. Like the desert heals all. The desert's a magical place.
I actually have a photo from her hospital experience. Because I thought that would be like her rock bottom. Like, oh,
you thought that would be her rock bottom? You thought that her in the hospital ODing in a Jordan hospital on the other side of the world from everybody and everything she knows. You gonna show this?
She has this little thing. Actually, I don't think anyone's seen this. So we have this. It was supposed to be her, if you guys can see that, her before photo of her literally in a hospital bed in Jordan. And I was like, okay, that should, that should be enough to inspire her. But yeah, if you don't want to change, you can't.
So we had a couple weeks. It was great. We went from Jordan. She was getting her head. She was working out. One of the rules was she had 90 minutes workout per day.
Some kind of exercise.
Some kind of exercise. Walking, workouts, whatever it was. I only had a couple rules, right? And the only other rule I had was she had to get up at 5 a.m. Sandra and I get up at 4 a.m. So we said, let's let her sleep a little bit so we have the morning to ourselves to have coffee before, chaos starts. And she was getting up, and I made her journal. And what I would do is I would ask her questions like, why is this any different? Or what's your biggest fear? And we went through all these things and we were making progress. And then what we think happened, part of our suspicion was, so we are going from here to Las Vegas. I'm going to Vegas tonight, actually. And then from Vegas, we are going to a show to do some cool announcements with one of our new partners. And we'll go live again there, which will be fucking epic. And then we're actually jumping on a plane on the 7th, and we're flying to Chile and Patagonia to go, well, we'll get into that later. So Sandra started showing her this, where we were going to be sleeping.
Still blaming me.
Sandra. It's
like, look, it's really cool. We'll be sleeping.
Yeah, so we were so excited.
We're going to be under a cave.
Yeah, there's like a rock, and you get some tarp. And you're gonna have a sleeping bag, and then we're gonna eat off this stove and out of the dirt pretty much, and we're gonna live in the dirt under a rock for 2 months, and we're gonna be 18 miles in the middle of nowhere. So what happened? Erin essentially did not want to do that, and
that's not what it is. She had told her parents. She realized that she had to run now but as she told her parents, she wouldn't be able to run once she got to the jungle. So yeah, I mean it's true.
True story.
True story.
So anyways, so she left, and we haven't heard from her, but her parents, she's back in Phoenix, and all we can do is wish for the best for her, because
hope that she learns something from being with us and does actually want
to spark something. Well, we know that we helped out our parents with her, and there's a lot of growth that happened and decisions were made. Part of them was I wanted her cut off from all financial aid and all
support
these support from her parents, because her mom loves her daughter and has been paying for all of her things. And I was like, look, your daughter, she got arrested last year. Her boyfriend, he's a fucking ex-con who was in prison for all kinds of shit. And I was like, look, you need to cut her off. I was like, she needs to hit rock bottom. And so for the first time, Erin's 34, and for the first time, her mom did cut her off, and it was really exciting. And we were documenting the thing. A lot of people actually pissed me off because they were like, maybe she doesn't want to be seen, but actually that was one of the 12 commandments. And Erin actually wanted, as far as we know, we don't know what's real or not real, but she wanted to work on this documentary, which we made. We were starting a process of it, and it was called Desert Intervention, and it was going to be this cool story. And I said, look, part of our channel, part of Captain Manicorn
is sharing stories of overcoming adversity.
Sharing stories of adversity. And I said, this is a brilliant fucking story because here's somebody who's addicted to fentanyl, who's addicted to Seroquel, Ambien, and Xanax. She was taking 6 milligrams of Xanax a day, Ambien, snorting this shit. 3 bars, right? And I was like, look, this is what's wrong with America right now, right? Yeah. America's on the pharmaceuticals. And the doctors are the ones fucking prescribing this to her. So I was like, cool. So I want to make a documentary, and I wanted to show a short film. I wanted to show the transformation from somebody who was literally in a hospital to walking her 25 miles through the desert to eventually getting her to go rock climbing with us, which she did. It was fucking fantastic, mind blown. The girl has the potential to reach any dream she wants. But so what we learned, because I'm not addicted to pills, that was never my thing. I like shooting up meth, cocaine, and
you liked
well, I mean, I still like it. I would definitely keep shooting meth if I could without obviously hurting myself or going to prison. Like if you're like, what is the coolest thing in the world? I'd be like shooting dope, obviously, because that high is ridiculous. But I can't do that. Obviously, it's counterproductive to this machine.
And wingsuiting is a close second.
Wingsuiting is a close second. Not really. It's not even in the same category, if we're being honest, because I don't want to lie to motherfuckers. I look at it, it gets me sweating and shit talking about meth. I loved it. So that was the goal, and we were going to keep filming it and working with it, and we did. And I was like, this is a great thing. And I was like, this whole concept of being able to take people that are addicted to drugs and need to do rehabilitation or need to do a detox, they should go on some adventure like this, right? With me, I'll take them into the middle of, I wanted to take people like into Antarctica, like with snow dogs. Just take people out and we just have conversations. And it's not about talking to people, it's actually about silence. And that was the thing with her. I didn't walk with her through the desert. I walked, maybe a couple 100 yards. I always tried to keep a sight of her, except for that one time I lost her. But I'm pretty sure she did. Like, we were walking down it was a fucking straight road. All she had to do was walk straight. And I'm sitting there with my shoes off, I'm relaxing, and time goes by. I'm like, God damn it, she fucking is dead in the desert. I was like, dude, I'm never gonna hear the end of this if she's so I like mosey my way back up looking for her, and I go back up to the mound and I don't see her. And I'm like, So I go, the only way she could have gone was down this like 5-foot fucking tunnel area. Like, why she went down this road? So but now I got her feet. She's got little feet. She got little tiny baby feet, right? So I'm like, all right, I see her feet. So I'm trailing her feet through the desert, right?
You're tracking her?
I'm tracking her. Okay, I'm tracking her through the desert. No shit, I'm literally tracking her through the desert. I find it down this canyon. I go up these rocks and I'm watching. And I come around the corner and Erin, no joke, is sitting on the top of a rock like fucking Nimba from Lion King. And she's, Jamie! Yelling like that. And I'm like, Erin! And she turned around, I saw the relief in her face that she found. But now I don't know if she did it on purpose or not. So that's a real, because why would she have turned? Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. We got 2 questions here. We got 1 question. Armando, remember Westphalia? Nomads? Yeah. They want to know when we're coming back to Italy.
When are we coming back to Italy?
It's going to be a while. Sorry, Armando.
We're coming back to Italy actually probably April-ish time. I don't want to say Italy.
Chamonix,
We'll be Chamonix. Well, no, it wouldn't be Chamonix. It'll be Switzerland. We're going back to where we like to go in Switzerland. So what's the other question?
And Dante says, don't shoot dope anymore, dude.
Obviously, the damage is done. If you guys want to know a secret about me, here's the truth. Watch all of my...
She's got tiny baby feet. My sister like that.
She does. She has baby feet. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
All right, focus back.
And the worst thing is, I guess, from the fentanyl or whatever it was, she gets like elephant feet. So like her little baby, they swell up. So like her little baby ankles and her little baby feet, all of a sudden when she does fentanyl, they swell up and she's got cankles, right? But the thing is that she got so sunburnt and all of that even swelled up. So her thigh, I don't even know what this is. She had no knees. Her knees went inward. I'm like, how are you walking? It looks like your joints are backwards. Like most people walk like this, yeah? But hers was like this, and it was like, I don't even know.
No, we didn't want to seem like anything's wrong, so we're like, no,
Yeah, because we were out there, we were on a paramotor. I was wingsuiting, Sandra was jumping, skydiving, and we were like, cool. And then, like, around like 3 o'clock, I start looking at her feet, and I'm like, oh, she's fucked up.
And then she had a rash.
She had a rash on her body, and I'm like,
Maybe that's why she left too. It was just, body was self-destructing and being out in nature. Poor girl.
Yeah,
anyways, focus.
More questions?
Just somebody says hi. Meow.
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 Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about 2026.
I haven't shot at meth in a long time. I had one relapse since I've been out of prison. I was out of prison in 15 years. And the only time that I've done meth since, okay, that's a lie. I did meth twice. I did it once on my brother's 21st birthday. We had a brilliant idea that we were going to take like a half ounce of dope and a half ounce of coke and mix it and get a Bellagio. It was all his fault. I was the one who mixed it though.
Accountability.
So, anyways, moving on, and then I did at Burning Man. I did shoot some meth. I was pretty fucked up back then. So that was in my drug days. Obviously, I made a lot of mistakes, but now we're sober. We've been sober for a long time. That's the truth. I wouldn't say sober. Like once in a while, we like to party. Like once in a blue moon, we have rules that like I think addiction. If you talk to me about what addiction means, it's like if I make plans to do something in the morning and I wake up in the morning and I can't do that, that means that I have a problem, right? So if you can't keep your word, if you can't show up to work, if you don't get up in the morning, then I think that you're getting on the border of addiction. So once in a blue moon, we do like to party, but it's not meth anymore. Definitely not meth. And my drug of choice since I don't do meth was obviously some cocaine, but I don't do that often anymore. Once in a while.
Keeping it real.
Keep it real. I don't drink. I'm not a big drinker, so luckily that's not my forte. And
I was a drinker though, so I definitely have some rules when it comes to drinking. No more than 2 days a week. No more than 2 drinks when I do drink. No hard alcohol, absolutely. But I'm in a much better place.
She's a crazy bitch.
Aren't all people?
You're Russian.
Oh, you're completely normal when you're high.
I'm fun. I'm a great time. I don't get aggressive or anything. You're over here like a crazy Russian when you drink hard alcohol.
Just hard
she used to
alcohol,
punch me in the face. Like this nose.
I didn't punch you.
You did that. You headbutted me in the face. You broke my nose.
Headbutting is different. That was like the tiniest little headbutt.
And then I'd be like, in the morning, she'd be like, "Oh, good morning, babe," and I'd be like, "Fuck you."
It was like 15 years ago.
I was like, "Fuck you, man." And she's like, "What? What's the problem? What happened?" I'm like, "Look, motherfucker. I see you broke my fucking nose last night, headbutting me in the face." And she goes, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "Really?" Because I'm pretty sure my nose goes to the fucking off to the side by an inch now.
That's not just for me. That's multiple incidences. MMA, you can't be an MMA fighter and have a straight nose, Jamie. But moral of the story.
It's not that bad, is it, guys? It's not that bad.
No, I actually broke my nose this year.
You didn't break your nose.
Journey ran into my face.
Oh my god.
Jamie was brushing her, and like a toy that you pull back and it like revs up, right? And then lets her go when he's brushing her, and I was bending down picking up all the hair because look, there's a dead animal in the grass in Switzerland. And then she just turns around at full speed, knocks right into my nose here. So
it was loud. It wasn't like this. It was like.
Oh, it was terrible.
I was like, oh
yeah,
shit.
I can't really see it. It's only in certain light. But the messed up part was 12 years ago, I had a nose job because I had like a Russian bump nose. So I just kind of shaved it down. So Journey pretty much messed up an $8,000 nose. It's got,
she didn't mess it
when
up.
There's lights from above, you can see it has a shadow now.
Can't live our lifestyle without a broken nose.
I'll always remember her.
Yeah. So moving on. Okay. So look, moral of the story here on Captain fucking Manicorn is sobriety is we believe in progress, not perfection. That's the reality of it. I never wanted to go through life like I was in AA. I went to rehabs. I did all that shit, and I didn't like any of it. So the concept is like I'm gonna be sober for the rest of my life, but then I'm giving control to something else. Like I'm giving the drugs and alcohol power. Like to say that I can't ever do anything, it means I'm weak. But I want to go out and have a drink with my friends. I want to go once in a while, go to Las Vegas and lose my fucking mind, right? Like that's just part of the fun. It's part of, or go to the skydive boogie or fucking base boogie or something like that, and just takes acid or whatever in the middle of the mountains on some epic Norwegian fjord, after sailing to Norway. Like it's a great, but I do it differently now. I don't do it during the event. I never do drugs and jump. I never do any of that. And the whole goal was to after something monumental, to be able to relax and let loose a little bit. And so, that's the kind of thing we always just like to keep it real with you guys. So Erin's thing back to her was I never preached sobriety. I told her, I said, look, it's not about being sober. It's about getting.
In the beginning it is though. Like,
yeah, it's about getting off
completely
3 years.
When I kept being sober for another 6 years, I think I didn't drink. And
that's not true.
Yeah, it was about 5 or 6 years. I was sober. I stopped drinking longer than you because I had a problem with drinking. And then I had multiple stints where I would like drink again, and then I would find myself.
You were hiding. You were sneaking.
So
when I would leave a little bit,
yeah.
you would buy wine and sneak it.
Sneaking wine. I was like, okay, obviously I don't have control of this, and I have to go sober again. So I think the original going sober thing started like 10 years ago, and I'm just now in a place where I can have a glass of wine and be okay.
That's not true.
Taking like 10 years.
No, it was when we were doing all the Molly at the Lost Prairie 50th anniversary. Like we bought like 100 hits of Molly or whatever, pills of Molly, and we were fucking. You were jittering like this. You're like, as you said, you had a glitch in your eyes and stuff because we were snorting coke and Molly all night and fucked up. And then we rented a houseboat for my birthday, and I was on my birthday, and I was like, yo, I want to go sober. I was like, I've had enough.
You said 6 months. I want to go sober from everything 6 months, and I was like, ooh, maybe I'll do like a month with you, because I couldn't even imagine going a week without a drink.
It's true.
Multiple drinks, so I countered it, and then we decided on 3 months, but then that lasted years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's where we're at with it, and I think it was like 5 years later, like she said or something like that. I had a beer after we had sailed through some gnarly passage into the Baltic Sea, and I was like, I want a fucking beer. I said that was stressful. That was like probably the closest in a boat that we'd ever come to dying. Like we learned about sailing. Obviously, we taught ourselves how to sail. So we bought this boat. We were living in Greece in Yanni's backyard, building the pink van. Shit show for another day to talk about. But I bought a sailboat, and I was like, look, let's buy the sailboat. It was like $13,500, whatever. It's a nice little boat. It was like 11 meters. It wasn't huge. It had no electronics, and so we were sailing up to Norway to go to the boogie and to do a sailing through the fjords and stuff. And we were out on the North Sea, and they have it's called what's the channel called?
Kiel Channel.
Kiel Channel. It goes into the Baltic, right? And what we learned was...
It goes through Germany, like this tiny little...
Yeah, and Denmark, right? Journey in Denmark. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so so I was like, cool, so we're going to do an overnight passage. And I wanted to do this, but we had 3 dogs living with us. We had Gazelle, Journey, and Freedom on the sailboat, and Sandra. And I was like, so the dogs had to go potty every day. They wouldn't go potty on the boat. It was so we felt guilty. So we would try to dock or go to a marina every day. So we kind of never really went too far, like multi-day passages. And I was like, cool, I want to go to. So whoa, that's not what happened. You fucked up.
Yeah, I messed up a passage.
We had waited there a week for this 1 hour that
they have these bridges that they go up, right, so that the boats can go through. And there was one bridge that opened up, wasn't going to open up for a couple days, for 1 hour.
Oh, a week. We waited there a week for this.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and then I ended up, when we left, there were 2 ways to get there. And I was like, oh, this way looks a lot faster. So we'll just take that way there, because we were already short on time. Little did I know that there was a bridge on that route that did not go up. So we missed the window, so then we had to go back out into the sea.
Back out to the North Sea.
Yeah.
And so anyways, the story, so we're sailing through the night, and a couple of interesting things happened. The waves are pretty big out there, it's fine though. And we learned, okay, that since it was our first overnight passage, we have a tiller, and we have a automatic tiller, like, autopilot. We have autopilot for our tiller, but it's an old school electronic one. It just kind of has like a plunger on it with a system like this. And what we learned was that tiller, the autopilot, takes a lot of power. So when the sun goes down, and the batteries were not that great on this boat, so I'm sitting there trying to sleep. It's like midnight. It's my shift.
Yeah, it's my shift.
Oh yeah, and all of a sudden the boat fucking keels over, like sail touches water, like it was dramatic. I flew off the couch. I run outside and they're like, oh my god! And I grab the fuck. I can see what's happening. I'm like, oh.
We were spinning in circles.
You couldn't figure it out. I did. So
essentially the tiller had died, but then essentially it like pushed out, so it made our tillers.
No, it's not what happened. It didn't push out. The wind hits the sail, Sandra. If nobody's countering it, okay, then the wind's gonna push the boat.
Yeah, it was traumatizing. And you wonder why I don't want to go back to the boat.
And the worst part was that same night that I ate a bunch of sausage, and I was like, 'cause we were hungry. So Sandra used, It was oh man, I puked everywhere. So I'm seasick, the boat fucking keels over, like sails touch water, like I save it, whatever. And we're like, okay, this is dramatic, right? But we keep sailing, and I'm like, cool. So we're getting to the sunrise is coming up, and it's epic, fucking glorious clouds and all this. But then in the distance, I see a little bit of darkness, and I see a little bit of a storm. I'm like, well, that can't be good, right? So apparently, when you go into the Kiel Channel, okay, there's like a 6
spooky waves.
No, that was Norway. There's a 6 knot fucking tide that's coming because the tide goes in and out, right? So what happens is we're making this turn to go in to the channel. We have the mainsail up, and we're going there, and all of a sudden these waves, they become very short, because that was where the keel water, the channel water was
water
meeting.
coming this way from a channel, and then you have the sea going this way with the tides. So it just becomes a whole bunch of crazy waves.
And they are like, so I'm like, hey, Sandra, I'm like, reef the fucking main. And Sandra's like going over to the main, and she's like, I don't know what that means. And I'm like, fuck.
Reefing the main means essentially your big one that catches a lot of wind. You kind of like take it down and you secure it so that you have less of it exposed.
Yeah, because you still want some wind.
I hadn't watched a YouTube video on that, so I didn't know how to do that. Something you should probably learn before you get into the shit.
I mean, I knew how to do it, but I couldn't get off the tiller.
Because it was so hard.
It was so hard. I was holding this tiller as like hard as I can, and she couldn't reef it. So I have full sail out in a fucking storm. And we're just getting pounded, and the boat's like tipping over, like water coming over the bow. The waves are like, like they're super sharp, like this. Steep waves, not like rollers, okay? They're steep, so the boat would go up, and then it would smash down, and water would fucking over our heads and blowing. And
the dogs are below.
Dogs are below. The fucking cabin's half full of water and screaming and all this. Yeah,
the boat did have the leak. And you wonder why I don't want to go back to the sailboat. It's just chilling in Poland, by the way. We still have the sailboat.
I've been trying to go back to it for a couple of years. She won't go. She's traumatized. I fucked it up.
PTSD.
So actually, when we got to Norway,
maybe I should work through that experience in my therapy.
Yeah, work through that in your therapy. So when we got to, we imagined like this glorious. So 6 weeks sailing every day, no days off. We sailed all the way up to Norway. We go down to into the fjord, and I've got my buddy with me, Vasil, and I'm on a hammock. We've got fucking Viking music playing, and people are jumping off a fucking mountain, and like I'm like, game on. Like, let's do this. We just sailed to fucking Norway, and now we're gonna go jump off this mountain. There's helicopters coming. We're meeting all over there.
I wasn't doing none of that. I didn't even want to go outside the boat.
Sandra wouldn't get off the boat. Everybody comes out here and is like, Sandra, are you gonna come outside? She's like,
go out and fly. I was like, no.
No, I'm good.
Just gonna chill.
So she sat on the boat for like a week, like traumatized, right? So it gets better. Like, you guys wondering why we don't have sail anymore. So then I'm like, okay, so we do the boogie, and then we're going north. My goal was to go down a bunch of the different fjords and go speed flying and wingsuiting and base jumping. So like after, I think it was like 3 months of sailing, we were getting pretty far up towards middle of Norway. We're trying to go to Luan, where there's a gondola. We had a collaboration that Amber hooked up for us. If you know Amber and Espen, fucking epic people. They had hooked up a collaboration with Luan Ski Lift, so we had a full sponsorship for 2 weeks from them to do as many jumps and stay at the hotel, and we could keep our boat in the marina, which if you go up the gondola, it was epic, right? And so this is before I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, so like we're banging through storms, guys. Like the North Sea is ruthless, and we're sailing up, and it's ruthless, yeah.
A couple of Vikings.
I had my trickle go out a couple times, like crazy shit. But we were fine, all right. At this point, I hadn't crashed the boat yet. Only Sandra did, and so
mine wasn't really a crash. It was just a couple of bumps on the sand.
Because I saved us.
Day one, yeah, I hit the ground.
Yeah.
Sailing.
So, we're like 3 months in, and all of a sudden I pull into this marina to get out of the storm. This huge storm's coming, right? So, like, you can get into a marina, and they have rocks and stuff to kind of protect the waves, so this is where we would go hide for a little bit. And all of a sudden I'm trying to figure it out. And our goal was to go to, like, south of France with the sailboat, because it was going to get cold. We didn't obviously want to be on a sailboat in Norway in the winter, so we were like, cool. So I started looking at how many hours it was going to take for us to sail down there, and I was like, fuck, like at the rate we're moving, the fastest our boat could do is like 6 knots. I was like, dude, it's going to take us like 666 hours to get down there. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, look, oh fuck. I was like, look,
we have to leave now.
We have to leave now. We haven't got to Luan yet. I was like, we need to leave now. And no joke, Sandra had a full panic attack. Tears, crying. She had
Like,
gained,
I had just
you had gained
survived.
like 3 kilos, 4
You
kilos.
don't really do much on the boat. You
I
just
was, one of
sit
us was
there.
working. And so she had a full fucking panic attack, and I was like, oh, we're fucked, huh? So long story short, we made it to Luan, and we were like, cool, this is fantastic. We had a great time, and then by the time we had been sailing back, Sandra was like, I don't want to sail anymore. I don't want to go down there. I'm like, well, we need to figure out what to do. But if you guys know the story, I have a good friend named George, who's Romanian, and he had an orange van named Mowgli, and I asked him about it, and he's like, well, I'm selling it. And this was on Sandra's birthday. Another story about this big fucking 150-foot yacht blocking our view. They let us on the boat. We had champagne. It was fantastic. And that day, so now I'm buzzed talking to George, so I bought Sandra this fucking van. I was like, cool, we got this. And so
So that's how the orange van came into existence.
yeah, but I blew that up the first year. I learned that, yeah.
Not to go vomiting through the sand in Morocco.
Yeah, I did that. Anyway, so moral of the story, you know, if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
And if you're not tough, don't get a sailboat.
If you're not tough, don't get a fucking sailboat, huh? So, brings us full story. So our life is one adventure after another, but
we have some big adventures for this year, kind of what we're doing this live stream about.
I forgot what we were doing live stream about.
Well, we have a computer there with something we've been working on for like
All right, tech support.
8 months.
Is anybody messaging us? Okay, hold on here. Hold on, let me see, because look, Facebook has, you can talk to, look, I hope you learned swimming before you sailing adventure. Okay, look at all these comments, holy. Moral of the story, sound is working now. As soon as you started answering, sound went out. We'll get better, I wanted everything. Damn, well, thanks for the updates. Y'all truly appreciate it. And blah, blah, blah. You guys are amazing to watch.
That's your brother-in-law,
My brother-in-law? Who?
John Weiser. That's your brother-in-law, by the way.
Which one?
Right there.
Brother-in-law.
He's learning a lot here.
Who?
That's Natalie's hubby.
Oh, Natalie's hubby. I knew his name was John. I didn't know his last
Brother-in-law
name.
would you have?
I don't know. Well, I guess my brothers aren't gay, so they would have wives, right? So I had to put. I was thinking it was John, but I didn't know his last name. Sorry, John. I know your last name now. I'll remember it for the moment. Hope you learned swimming before you sailing. I grew up on a fucking river. I'm from Blythe, homie. I've been swimming longer than I've been walking. Of course, I know how to swim. Come to New Zealand. I've been to New Zealand actually.
I haven't, so we do need to go there.
Yeah, I do. I like.
It's
New
hard to
Zealand.
get dogs there, though.
Yeah. Well, anyways, if you guys have questions or anything you want to say, I'm gonna show you the
What we've been working on.
yeah.
So, Jane, we actually have.
Hold on, we got whoa. Marco, tech support, please. Let's switch to the Let's switch to the computer when you're ready, buddy. We'll keep talking. So
So
Marco,
you can hear our audio.
Paragliding Live is our tech support, and he is awesome and epic. I met him in Turkey, and we've gone into a partnership together to go live, and we are on Instagram, YouTube, and our Facebook right now because we have close to 600,000 followers, and we're collaborating with him, and yeah, we think that live is the future. So,
Vikram says, I got inspired by you guys to learn skydiving.
you learned to skydive because of us?
Ah, super cool.
Epic. That's always awesome to hear. I like that. Skydiving saved me and ruined me again. I was pretty sober before I started skydiving, and then they have these things called boogies, and they fucked me up because it's like we were working really hard. We had a big company, and essentially like a boogie, basically it's like people come to party and to skydive. Like, so you have great LOs, load organizers, people that are really good in different disciplines, if it's wingsuiting, free flying, whatever it is. But then at night, everybody does drugs. Everybody.
And drinks a lot.
And like that's the whole point of a boogie,
Yeah.
is to like go do drugs and do
Just
epic
drop
stuff.
zones in general, to be honest.
Yeah, the problem was I was infamous, and everybody knew I did drugs and partied really hard.
At
So
that
the,
time.
I've been in like 100 drop zones, yeah, because we toured around America and all that. I've been in almost every drop zone out there. And the problem is I wouldn't say problem at the time, but everybody knew that I was coming to town, so everybody would bring all their drugs to the drop zone and like ask me if I wanted to party, and I'd be like, fuck yeah. So we would do really cool jumps, and then we would get really fucked up. And then the problem was it became too often again. Mm-hmm. So we actually had to get away from skydiving, not because I don't like skydiving. It was because it was an unhealthy environment for me. So skydiving had saved me
You
originally.
weren't strong enough to say
Yeah,
no at that time.
I'm a weak motherfucker. So I had to get away from the skydiving community, and that's why I got into speed flying. And then speed flying, paragliding, and all of that different stuff. But it was more in nature, and I had to hike and stuff like that, and it was quieter. And I noticed that if I keep on the move and I don't stay somewhere too long, that I'm less likely to do drugs. Yeah, it's reality. So are we live yet?
Yeah.
You were literally at our wedding. I know, but it doesn't mean I know your last name, motherfucker. Like, come on. Have you not heard the stories, John? Have you not heard how fucked up I was? You think I can remember your last? I don't even know her. I couldn't say her last name when I first met her. Her name is Zinoviev, okay? Look,
Not a lot of people can.
I mean, literally, okay? Look, here's the reality, okay? So she gets, like, she fucking catfished me, if we're being honest, okay? She catfished me, guys, okay? This is what happened. She was hot, she was young, and I was...
Still hot, still young.
You're all of the above, babe. And so she had a big-ass truck, she had a street bike, and I was like, damn, this bitch is bad. All right, cool. So we're gonna do some cool shit, right? I raced moto. You know, we had a house in Blythe, so like, you know, we're desert fucking rats. So this is what we do. We ride bikes and have big trucks. Cool. She'll get along just fine. So within 1 week or 2 weeks of meeting her, I find out that she has 2 DUIs. And that they are suspending her license, and that she has to go to jail, and she has to repo her. She has to sell her truck to get money to pay for the fucking court cases and all this shit, right? So I'm like, okay, I got this, no problem. And then like a week later, this bitch crashes her fucking street bike.
I mean, the car pulled in front of me, splitting
Can we
lanes.
practice? I thought we were practicing accountability 2026.
Okay, I rammed that motherfucker. I hit it so hard that I had a hematoma on my crotch.
Yeah, you did.
Remember it was like this big purple thing?
Yeah, it was selling sex that night though. What did you hit me for? It was a fat... I'm not saying that. It was the drugs.
But Jamie the reason he's going on a tangent is that Jamie was the only person that actually came to the hospital to visit me after knowing this guy for 2 weeks.
I tried to come to the hospital, so that was the funny part. So I'm telling them that her husband, and they're like, well, what's her last name? I'm like, Zinoviev.
Can you spell that?
I couldn't spell it, Zinoviev, right? I'm like, right? I could barely spell my own name on a good day. Okay, so I was like, oh fuck. So anyways, moral of the story, like, and then like 2 weeks later, okay, we're like living together, and she's now fucking, I have to take her to jail every day because it
was a work release program, so it's like
I got fucking catfished. That's the moral of the story. But look, we've been together for almost 15 something years right now, so you know, we didn't get married until 14 years in. So you guys can't feel bad for her. She knew when I proposed to her. It was like 6 years ago. It was like we were engaged for like 6 years. I still didn't know if I liked her.
I didn't figure out if you liked me yet?
Nope.
50-50.
50-50. Some days I always love you.
I thought we were switching to the computer.
I always love you. I can't say that I always like you though.
Yeah, that's fair. Same.
All right, I'm ready to switch to computers. Moral of the story, I got catfished.
I think you're winning though.
I am
being
winning.
honest.
I am winning. What are we on? Switch to computer.
You ready to... Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're actually do a screen share, but we have been working on for almost a year. Haven't really officially announced it. Let's get our tech support here to raise this computer as long as Jamie doesn't go on another rant. You good? Are you focused like a laser?
Yeah, whatever.
Laser beam?
I'm waiting.
Okay. Well, we can explain. a
You
little
told
bit about
me
it
that
before.
you didn't know we were gonna have enough shit to talk about.
And then you said, "Oh, I have no problem talking."
I said I love to hear my own voice. I have no problem talking.
We'll talk about it a little bit before we switch to it.
Okay, yeah, cool. So while Marco's doing his job on the back end,
Launch a new website.
we didn't launch a new website. We launched a brand. A website makes it feel kind of cheesy to me.
But the brand's not Captain Manicorn, right?
No, it's not. So essentially, what Captain Manicorn was for me was an alter ego. The other Jamie that got out of prison, you know, tattooed, fucking violent, all of these rainbow hair, was not something I was quite stoked to be. You know, I was a little ashamed of where I come from and all the different things. You know, it was hard. It's hard, right? It's fucked up after 4 years in federal prison to get out and like love yourself. I didn't even like myself yet at the time, and I was still a work in progress. I mean, you know, so when I got out, this like my dad and I came up with this thing called Captain Manicorn, and it was my alter ego, and it was fun because it was like, you know, like I would tell people all the time, like what's a manicorn? I'd be like, oh, just think of a unicorn but with a dick. So that was what we were working on, and so I rocked Captain Manicorn for like the last 8 years or something, 9 years or something like that. But now I'm the website's not working right now.
Alright, you can talk it. I'll fix this.
Okay, what's the sites?
Oh,
Well, that's fucked up.
tech support.
So long story short, the goal was to. I'm now 43 and I'm comfortable in my skin, and I've healed a lot of wounds, and it's a work in progress still, progress not perfection. So I wanted to be Jamie Liebert again because I wanted to get to know myself again. So I see the photo. So essentially, this is. So essentially, I wanted to be Jamie Liebert, but what does Jamie Liebert do? So Jamie Liebert is an ex-drug addict, ex-convict, who's dealing with a lot of mental health bullshit, and obviously overcomes that by going paragliding and doing my air sports and rock climbing and all of these sports. And my whole motto is that adventure sports, and using those things to create a better lifestyle for myself because they make me go outdoors, they make me be healthy. So we launched Jamie Liebert, and the goal behind Jamie Liebert was like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? So you've already been a sponsored athlete, you've done all this cool stuff, you make good money from all that, but I wanted to elevate it to making films because Sandra and I are obviously very successful at making reels and doing all of that stuff, right? We got 600,000 followers, it's insane. That pretty much.
We essentially came to a point where, like, Jamie asked me, he's like, we can keep doing this and keep getting
Forever.
sponsors and making money from videos and then not take on anything more.
Because we sold our property, we did a bunch of cool stuff. We went from being broke, like almost giving up, to like fucking selling the property, cleaning up our life, and the universe providing. And now we're pretty good, right? We sold our property, we're the bank, so we could pretty much live this lifestyle for the rest of our lives. But obviously I've been rich before. When we had the color runs, we made like $4 million the first year. Obviously I lost it all, but I had a lot of fun along the way. But you learn, right? And when we had the most money of our lives, I was actually the most unhappy. I got fat. It was just not
stressed.
I was miserable, stressed out. I wasn't happy. So we obviously lost all the money, but before we did lose it all, we obviously bought some investments and did some smart things like that because I've always been pretty good with money. So bringing it full circle.
We came to a crossroads.
Thanks for helping me. I completely forgot where I was. Thanks.
I got you.
Thanks.
We came to a crossroads. We said, okay, we can keep doing what we're doing. We keep pulling the tablecloth.
I asked you. I said, what do you want to do? I said, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm. And we decided that we wanted to elevate Captain Manicorn and essentially evolve, right?
I wanted to. I had a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream that I wanted to make a documentary.
Mm-hmm. And we were in a place in Chile, in Cochmo, and Jamie had this really big project he was working on. And we were in the jungle, and he's trying to climb something and jump something that's never been jumped. And all of a sudden, one day in the middle of the jungle, this not huge, like 7-person film crew comes in. I mean, they got horses running in. It was actually the brand Arteric, the clothing brand. And they were filming some girls climbing, like nothing crazy. And I was watching what they were doing, and it kind of hit me. I was like, I could do that. Like adventure filmmaker, like that sounds something kind of cool. That sounds like something exciting and scary to take on. And that it was in that moment that we had decided, let's make a documentary about this big project that we're working on.
So we left Cochimo because of a storm, ended up buying Sandra a camera, and we ended up like trying to, to use all these skills, but we had never, we love storytelling, we love building, what's it called? Storyboard. And I had just done a huge project with National Geographic and Disney, wingsuiting in the Alps, some crazy 4,000 meter peak that we wingsuited and had helicopters. It was really cool. And so basically I saw how they operated and I saw logistics, but we used to throw events and we would have like maybe 150 people working for us every weekend. And we threw like 25 of these events a year, national tour. And so we knew logistics. Like I know how to organize, and I learned a lot about management and stuff like that. I was a terrible boss. I was an asshole. Asked my brother. Both my brothers quit working for me. My dad stayed true. Sandra stayed true. But long story short, we were miserable doing this, and it wasn't what we really wanted to do. So I ran away. I told everybody that I was going to Norway for a couple weeks, and I had a huge property, a ranch, and all this. And then Sandra got a phone call about a month later, and I said, I am not coming back. I knew that I wasn't coming back when I left. So you can reload and refresh. Okay, you take it. Just keep telling stories until I get that signal again. I will do that, Marco. So the goal was, like, back then when I went to Norway, I had a friend of mine, Jamie Huey. fucking legend. And we were driving around. We drove around for months together, and we would talk every day. And I was like, look, my real dream is to be able to make a living from going on adventure and with room. And so,
I got it.
okay, you did that. So it's ironic. I never. So like when I went, so like months went by, but Sandra like ended up coming out there, and she was the marketing director for a multi-million-dollar company that we built together. And
Self-taught, actually.
Self-taught, but I kept asking her. It was like the Alice in Wonderland. I kept asking her. I said, look, like who are you? You're not this like the marketing director. Like you're not this person anymore. So who are you? And it took months. So she was gonna go down one road. It was actually pretty retarded. She was gonna make a website called Manicorn, or what was it called?
I was gonna sell unicorn merchandise as an affiliate website to get 3%, 5% of the sale.
Terrible idea. So I was like, look, I need a break. I'm going to Thailand. So I went to Thailand for 6 weeks by myself with nothing but a backpack to go do a little bit of walkabout. I needed a break from her, from everybody. Like every year I take a break from life. Yeah, I take a break and I go on my own walkabout and I learn to love myself and I figure and I think and I think for months at a time. Anyways, so I messaged her when I got back to Romania where we were at the time. I told her, I said, look, I came out, I said, look, here's the reality. I said, if you want to go down that road, I'm going to go down this road, and maybe this isn't going to work out with us because I think I want to go down a different path. I want to make episodes. I want to make a show. My dream is I think that my life is cool enough to make, to be a internet or a TV personality, and that was my goal. So, more story. Sandra ends up agreeing to it. It was a hostile takeover. I remember I got catfished in the beginning, so it was my turn for a little payback. So, so she agrees to it, and we ended up building Captain Manicorn, and that was how the dream came about to fly a parachute in every country of the world originally, because Sandra said she wanted it to mean something. You guys like those lights behind my head? Don't I look like an angel?
Definitely not an angel.
I'm an angel. I have angels talking? Oh, those are devils. Never mind. So long story short, we did that. We built Captain Manicorn up, and we tried to do an event thing with it. We tried all kinds of things, and honestly, none of it worked. We lost money pretty much with all of it, and ended up going broke. And like last year, while we were in what country was that? It was Africa. It was Morocco. Our van blew up, and we were out of money. We ended up having to borrow.
This is 3 years of working on Captain Manicorn.
Yeah, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And van motor blew up, and it was ironic because we had a collaboration with like a 5-star hotel. And it was like $1,500 a night, like pool, jacuzzi, like out of our room. It was crazy. So we were like the brokest we've ever been, and we were in the nicest hotel having like fucking amazing meals and all this. And I'm like, I can't even enjoy it because I'm fucked, I'm broke, and I can't pay the bills. So that was a funny story about the tangent. So Sandra goes to put the deposit down.
Oh, for the collaboration.
For the collaboration, and she thought that they wanted $150.
I thought it was $200. For a deposit, because it was a $4,000 a night resort that they had given us a free private bungalow for a collaboration. So that
it's for the king state. This is epic.
Best collaborations, but they wanted a deposit. So I was like, oh, okay, I could, $200, whatever. And then my card doesn't work. I'm like, that's weird. And then my other card doesn't work, and then we.
Call me.
And then you try, your card doesn't work, and then our friend
George
she goes,
it's not, he does it in Romanian, it's not 200 guys, it's 2,000. We were like, whoa, that's why it won't working. We don't have $2,000. So anyways, right after that, the van blew up, and the motor blew up, and then it was like it was knocking. I knew it was bad, so I took it to a shop, and I'm like, hey guys, it's knocking. I think it's a rod. And so I was like, can you guys, check it out? So what do these dumb motherfuckers do? They just disconnect my oil pump. And I'm like, that's weird, okay, but maybe they know something I don't know, right? And then they fire up the motor with no oil pump, and then they fucking rev the engine, and it fucking threw a rod. Like dumb motherfuckers, yeah?
So it's seized.
It's seized.
Boom. I now know what it sounds like when a car literally dies.
Yeah, it blows up. And so, like, we're sitting there, we're like, okay, fuck. We're fucked. And so the guy comes back to us, and this scandalous motherfucker, he's like, okay, so it's gonna be $5,000. And I'm like, first off, you guys blew up my shit. Second off, I don't have $5,000. So he goes, okay, well, you need to figure out what you want to do, or you need to leave here in a half hour. Literally, he gave us, and we're like,
They're closing.
They were closing. And I'm like,
We're like, sure. pay the $5,000.
We'll pay the $5,000. And luckily, long story short, we borrowed money from George's mom, borrowed money from Sandra's mom, and we even did a GoFundMe, which got ridiculed pretty hard for people thinking that we were degenerates. But man, we were trying. We were all invested in the business, and people liked subscribing to our channel, and
It's honestly a good thing we didn't listen to the haters.
Yeah, of course it is, right? So what happened, which we don't ever really talk about this, was I went back to, I was like, fuck, well, we had that property in America. We had 3 semi-trucks full of equipment. So I was like, look, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna clean up the property. We'll put it for sale because we were paying mortgage on this motherfucker, and it was expensive, and it was killing us per month, right? To pay for something that we hadn't been home for in like 4 years, yeah? So I went back, my dad comes out, Wiley comes out, Cody comes out, the family comes out and helps me, and we get the property all cleaned up.
Put everything for sale.
Put everything for sale, then I went and cleaned up all the production equipment, we put all that for sale. So we ended up getting enough money to pay off the credit cards, and
pay back my mom.
Pay back everybody, paid back George's mom, everybody like that. So we pay everybody back, and so we're in a good spot. So we go back, and then I was meeting Sandra back in Italy. She drove back to Italy, well, because I went back to America.
You're not explaining what happened while you were in America.
What happened?
So because Jamie went back to America, all of a sudden his Facebook and Instagram now was logged back in America. So all of a sudden this magical little button pops up on our social networks that says you are eligible for monetization. And we realized that the reason, even with how many followers we had back then, we weren't able to make money from our videos was because it's only eligible if you're in the US. And we were
$9,000 the first month.
Yeah, that was a nice month.
That was a nice month. So, you know, it catapulted from there, and then like no joke, like maybe 2 months later, a month later, we ended up selling the property for 50% more than I paid for it, and we ended up doing an owner carry, which means that we're the bank, and we gave a loan to the new people that were purchasing it. Fantastic. We were more than happy to work with them. So we went from like broke, about to have to go get jobs, paragliding instructor or whatever I was gonna have to do. Like, you know, like I was reality. I was like, I'm not gonna quit this dream. I'm just gonna have to obviously take our time slower and figure it out. But because I made that commitment to not give up, I believe this in my heart, because I didn't give up. I didn't give up on my dream. I went back and I did all of this. The universe rewarded me with all of these gifts. Maybe that's God again. I don't know. If you guys were in the beginning of the conversation, I told you I have issues with God. But maybe this is God, because all of a sudden we went from like everything failing to me making a decision to continue with what we were doing, and the universe providing. And since then we've sold the property. Social networks are fucking killing it. And we've got a lot of other good positive things going. We've got some great sponsors now. So
essentially we went from struggling to reach this goal to all of a sudden, dream checked, right? Like
right.
We make videos, we make money from it, we get sponsors, we had reached our goal. We had, we
the money, it's not a lot. It was like $5,000 a month. Let's not get carried away. It was like $5,000 a month, but it was $5,000 a month for the rest of our lives based off these investments, okay? So I was like, look, and so Sandra's stressing on reels, she's stressing on this. I was like, look, we don't have to do any of this shit anymore. Like, we're good, homie. We could just go out and fuck off and play every day, all day for the rest of our lives, and we're good. And I was like, what do you want to do? And she's like, well,
that's not how we operate. So we are very goal driven, and I actually find a lot of my fulfillment through creating these crazy goals and crazy dreams. And obviously they stress me out as well, but I do find that I'm a lot more, like, I feel purpose, right, when I have these goals. So that's where then this year's goal came into play of creating a documentary. Because even though we have no experience with documentaries, we have no experience with actual filmmaking with the big cameras and lighting, and so we're just really learning on the go here.
But no, I've watched every master's class. I've watched so many videos and studied and understand the process, and so we built a new website, and it's you guys can all look it up. There's quite a few of you guys online, so you guys can go to Jamie Liebert, JamieLeibert.com.
And we were going to do a screen share, but we're having some technical support. Again, this is only one of our first times going live. First, actually, on social networks, we were able to get that connected. So we were going to share it with you guys, but we're having some issues with tech support. So we'll just show them a little screen share of it, at least.
I'll take it over here. You hold it while I scroll. Here.
Okay.
You hold it while I scroll.
I turn the camera around.
Besides, don't turn the camera around. Just hold it that way.
Okay.
Actually, you can. I think you can just turn the camera. Hold on.
Okay.
To back.
That's the microphone.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
That's
okay.
back, like that. Okay.
I got us figuring these things out.
All right, so I'm gonna turn the audio up. Hold on. Okay, so We're on the screen right now, you guys. Welcome to Jamie Liebert, helping people conquer fear, rise from adversity, and create a life of purpose. And we built this, Sandra and I built this website together, and we'll just kind of walk you guys through it. Wingsuit flying athlete, motivational speaker, filmmaker, badass, right?
I put that badass in there.
Badass. That's a sexy motherfucker though, huh? All right, so here is our dream. It's called Battling Monsters, a story of dreams, resilience, and redemption. And what we'll do is I'll keep showing you guys a little bit of the site. You guys can show, this is all the media. We've been on every media station, news station there was. This is cool. This was actually from the Nat Geo project. We were being filmed with a helicopter. And that's kind of the overview of it. But if you go to About, obviously you guys should go there. Turning obstacles into opportunities. These are all the cool shit that I do. I'm an extreme athlete, a motivational speaker, documentary filmmaker in progress. And that's our dream right now. Jamie's mission is to empower people to overcome obstacles, confront fear, and build their personal lives through film, speaking, and adventure. This is my team. You got me, you got Sandra, you got Journey, and you got Oliver, and you have Valentine. That's my boys. This is kind of cool. We reach 12 million impressions a month. We have 500 million video views. We've 80 countries. You know, the only thing standing between people and their dreams is often the belief that ordinary people can't achieve extraordinary things. Yeah, I said that. Anyways, so upcoming films. This is what we've got going on. Different film projects. This is for our sponsorship page because we're going to be reaching out to production companies and sponsors. So this whole platform was kind of built as a B2B, which means business to business. This is Battling Monsters. This is the one we're currently doing right now.
Okay.
You guys...
Click on learn more there.
You guys can see the desert intervention. That's Erin in the hospital, and me. That's a bag full of drugs that I took from her. That she is the hustle, anyways. The Wild Path is a three-part series that I have an idea for, and a 7 for 7. So you guys can go read more of that. But I will bring you into this one. Learn more. Okay, Battling Monsters. I'm not gonna read all this to you guys. You guys can watch it yourself.
Yeah,
but what I do want to show is I want to show you guys the video
Or
live.
They should have to go to the video page to watch it.
There's no, they can watch this one. Hold on.
You can leave a place and still be stuck inside it.
You can see it perfectly. Yeah.
Without something big enough to focus on. I drift back to the edge. An idea closed itself around me. Be the first person to wingsuit base jump from El Monstro into the Valley of the Beast. And claw my way back out.
Why do you want to wingsuit the monster? It doesn't really look possible.
In today's world, it's hard to find something that hasn't been done. And something as, monstrous as being referred to as the El Cap of South America. It just seems like the perfect project to dedicate all my energy to.
And I know there's a chance that you could not survive this jump on El Monstro, and I'm having a hard time being okay with that.
I didn't have a partner. So I tried to earn one, and that's where everything fell apart.
Wow.
It is real. fucking terrifying. It's fucking with me inside a little bit. I almost died today. It's terrifying. That's the closest I've come to death. My shoulder's killing me. I'm supposed to be over there in like 5 days climbing this route. How am I gonna fly a wingsuit and deploy? I can't even raise my arm. That's it. Right now. I just see this dream fading away. I see it slipping from my grasp because of an injury.
I watched from the outside as this unfinished dream consumed him. And I knew we couldn't move forward until he returned to the place that broke him. To help him face his monster, I would have to face mine.
I know you said, like before you had said you would never do base jumping. Like, what was your, like, how are you feeling about changing that decision?
When you're ready. Big push off the front.
Oof, hold on, I can't. Oh God. Oh God.
Dudes!
Not too shabby, huh?
That is epic! That is our first draft at it, so...
So what it's called is actually, it's not a trailer, it's not a sizzle reel, it's called a raw select. And what that is longer pieces of the content that we've captured. Because the next step in this dream, of course there's a plan, is to find a production company. Because when you want to make a documentary, you have to have a production company that essentially pitches it to the networks. And that's the first step. So that video is to show the production companies that we already have content, we have a good story, we have good characters. Was I just standing on the cliff ready to base jump? That was weird.
No one even knows that.
No
yet.
one even knows that, except for the people watching.
Have you jumped? Have you not?
I mean, they're gonna have to wait
What-
to see the documentary.
Moral of the story, it was pretty emotional watching that, right? I like watching that. That's the first time we shared it with anybody. And because we're going to use our experience from all the business that we created, all the things that we did, we're going to reach out to productions. First, all of my friends that I know in the entertainment industry, all the Red Bull athletes I know, everybody else I know that does really cool shit, they're going to get a message from me next week and asking if they have any connections that they can put us in touch with.
Step two is asking for help,
Yeah,
because
step two.
as we learned in the past, as difficult and sometimes humbling as it is that if you don't ask for help, you're not going to be able to reach your goals. We've only been able to do what we do, asking for help. Even random people around the world helping us bring parts for our car when it's broken down.
So then we've got some connections in the Nat Geo world, in the Disney world. We're going to reach out to them as well, and we're going to start learning the process. And what it is really is we don't expect a yes. I expect a lot of no's. But every time I hear a no, hopefully I can ask them why, and that will help us grow and to get this dialed in. Obviously, you guys know that I'm stubborn enough not to give up, and I'm not going to give up on the stream. We're going to film it. So we'll be back out in Patagonia, back down there in a month and a half. Whether we have financial support or not, we're still going to go climb it. And
It's going to happen no matter what.
it's going to happen no matter what. So the big money will come hopefully from post-production. We'd like to take it to
Film festivals.
well, what's interesting about this documentary that wasn't in the raw selects? So you know how all documentaries, they have an interview, right? Like somebody does something cool, like Jimmy Chin does something, or these guys do epic projects, right? And then they always have like an interview to recap the whole thing. My idea is actually kind of cool. I'm gonna go back to a prison. I haven't been to a prison obviously in 15 years. I did get arrested that one time for base jumping on New Year's. I fucked that up. But anyways, so I wanted to do the interview in prison, like in a cell, and start and show like a transformation from like where I'm in prison to like by the end of it, you'll see that I'm standing on a podium talking to inmates and sharing my story of how I've overcome these different, adversities and using my knowledge to hopefully help other people that are going through a really hard time, maybe see a different way in life. And that was going to be the
Hopefully spark, like,
yeah.
well, you know, what helped Jamie when he was in prison, there was one time the guards pulled him out to watch a movie. What movie was it?
Fuck, you put me on the spot. I don't remember.
He goes out into nature.
Into the wild or something?
Into the wild,
Yeah.
yeah. And the guards told Jamie that, you know, this reminds me
It wasn't
of
the
you.
guard, yeah. It was the counselors, drug counselors, and they brought me into a room and they let me watch this one movie by myself. And I watched this movie
And it inspired you, right?
it did. It inspired me, and I was like, "That's me. That's how I feel." Like that was how I
And
felt.
that's what we hope to do with this film, to take it into rehabs and into prisons, and that spark that Jamie got from just watching.
Not because I want to help motherfuckers. I don't want to help people, but I do have a gift, and I believe, Sandra and I believe, this is my philosophy, that you should give back as much as you take. And since I'm a selfish individual and I do a lot of things for myself, and I've burned a lot of bridges and fucked a lot of things up, that we continually try to give back in our way. So it's not that I want to go do Mr. Rogers shit and go fucking talk to inmate. You think I want to go back to a prison? Obviously I don't, right?
I mean, but the name of the film is Battling Monsters, so it is kind of full circle.
Right, so it's a full circle. Anyway, so that's where we're going. What you keep even seeing one of the thing? Why do you have to do that? What are you throwing me off? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was just gonna remind you that we have a seafood reservation in 1 minute.
In 1 minute? That's not happening. So anyways, guys, that's the welcome to Battling Monsters, and welcome to our new dream for 2026. We are dedicating everything we have to it. We're going all in. We're spending all of our money to build this and to build the show. And we're hoping, we don't want to ask you guys for money. That's not our goal right now. We want to get production companies to get behind it and sponsors and things like that. We've got some really good leads on that, and we're working towards it. If all of that fails, our goal is to take this to the film festivals, and we will do campaigns, because that's how all other documentary people started. They had to use their audience and stuff like that. But we have 600,000 people that love watching what we do. So if that's worst case scenario, that's plan B. So, and then hopefully you guys believe in us as much as we believe in ourselves, and then we can make this all happen. So that is our goal for 2026. That's all we're working on. We're obviously still gonna travel the world and do epic rad shit, but it's all about climbing. I'm still fucked up on this injury. I tore, whoa, this chair's breaking. I destroyed my front deltoid. I have a lesion on my bicep. I have some damage on the stress and I also have a winged scapula, which means my scapula, I look like fucking Notre Dame and Punch Shack sometimes when I'm doing push-ups. It's all fucked up. And I'm still battling this, and I'm still fighting it, and I probably shouldn't be doing this documentary, but like, the reality is I'm gonna jump. It's bugging. It's consumed my fucking life and my mind. Like, that's all I think about. So we're gonna go back and do it. It's really hard climbing. It's hard. It's 6B trad climbing, which is like my
That's
max
not
anyways.
even the hard part, though. It's all the stuff that we have to sleep on the wall.
Yeah, we're sleeping on the wall because it's 27 pitches.
Jump off the cliff.
Ice axes, crampons.
40-pound bags between our legs.
I'm not jumping a bag between my legs.
Oh yeah, you have a suit full of gear.
I
I'm
have a
jumping
wingsuit
all.
full of
I'm like
gear.
a mule over here.
If you do it, if you even man up to jump.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So, anyways, you guys, I just wanted to thank all of you. Remember to do epic rad shit. I hope 2026 is the year for you. And if you're struggling with something, if you're struggling with mental health, addiction, any of those different things, feel free to reach out, and I will humbly give you a piece of my foot up your ass to remind you to quit being a bitch and get your life together and live out your dreams, because no one's gonna do it for you. That's the truth, guys. Nobody else in the world really gives a fuck about your problems. The only person that can fix your bullshit is you.
True story.
So with that, Happy New Year's, all the good blessings. We're here to rock with you guys, follow along, and tell your mom about us. That's at the end of the day. Tell your grandma about us. Grandmas and moms love me. It's weird. Older women love me. I'm okay with that.
Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to be doing a lot more live. And next time it's going to be, I think, at CES, the biggest technology
Expo.
convention in the United States.
That'll be on the 7th.
And then
on the
we're
6th.
actually going to start going on adventures. So you guys can watch jumping and flying, and we have a Starlink, so we will literally take. So we are in the very beginning of this live thing. We plan on doing a lot more cool adventures. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay, I'm hitting the button in 3, 2, awkward.